Welcome in, Chargers fans, with some pretty breaking news, honestly. You guys might have seen it on Twitter already, but Mr. Kyle Van Noy is taking a visit to the Chargers, and he is expected to sign today. I think the verbiage was if all goes well, which things normally go pretty well with Brandon Staley. So I've heard and I know who Kyle Van Noy is, but I didn't really know that much about his game. But looking into him, he is very much he's a hybrid player in terms of outside linebacker, true linebacker, edge player as well. In 2019, I believe, like true edge, that's where he took most of his snaps, I think. But he plays on the line a lot. So it looks like this is a Kyler Fackrell-esque pickup, which I love because he can slot in as probably edge 3 or, I mean, with his experience, and he's honestly been pretty productive. He has pretty solid PFF grades over the last couple of years. He is above 30, but I am extremely happy with the signing. I'm assuming he's not going to get that much money. We also signed Bryce Callahan yesterday or 2 days ago, which is almost an equally big signing. Two older players, two more experienced players, but in their role, Bryce Callahan in his role is probably a little bit better when he's healthy than Kyle Van Noy, just because Bryce Callahan can be one of the best slot corners in the NFL when he stays healthy. So that was a great signing. So we have, I mean, Michael Davis played a little bit in the slot, I believe against the Raiders sometimes, just when he would line up against Darren Waller. But I think Asante can play in the slot. We know Bryce Callahan can play in the slot, almost only in the slot. But now we have three players who I feel confident in as outside corners. So Michael Davis, Asante Samuel, and J.C. Jackson. And then two players who I feel comfortable with in the slot, and Asante and Bryce Callahan. I'm starting to like our depth at corner a little bit more. We still have Tavon Campbell, and then we drafted Jasir Taylor and his name's escaping me, the 7th round pick out of Ole Miss. But good. Those guys, those two are probably just going to be special teams players. But Kyle Van Noy, the signing today, I'm assuming for not that much, to come in as edge 3, experienced, reliable. I don't know why the Patriots released him this summer. I'm just going to hop over to just a little bit of Twitter because it was yesterday when we officially signed Bryce Callahan. If all goes well, there's a good chance he signs. So this is not only depth at, I think I'm viewing it more as depth at edge almost, or that outside linebacker edge hybrid sort of, rather than depth at linebacker, which I don't know. I've been pretty pro signing depth at linebacker, but this sort of fills that role too, just because we do have Drew Tranquill, who I like starting. I'm okay with starting. Kenneth Murray is injured. I hope that he can get healthy and take his next step as an inside linebacker. And then we signed Troy Reeder. We still have Amon from last year, and then we still have Nick Neiman, who does need to add a little bit more to his frame and to his game, but I liked what I saw from him last year as well. So depth at linebacker with this addition, he's probably not going to play linebacker, but he has experience there, so that eases that need a little bit. Even Kyle Van Noy doing the little eyes, so he's probably going to sign. with the Chargers. I love this signing because not going edge in the draft, we had a couple of pretty big positions in need: right tackle, depth at corner, depth at edge, a wide receiver. I still wouldn't hate like a speedy wide receiver, but Seth Galina from PFF is pretty good friends with Brandon Staley, or has talked to him or friends with somebody in the Chargers building, and they said that the reason that they didn't throw the ball down the field last year wasn't because of the lack of downfield receiving talent. It was because of the offensive line and the lack of faith in the right side. So we addressed that with Zion Johnson. Jamari Salyer, great depth. It's really just, in my mind, one more signing, and this roster is absolutely loaded, and that is right tackle. We do have players who can step in, whether it's Matt Filer, Trey Pipkins, preferably not Storm Norton, but who knows, he could take the next step. Probably not Jamari Salyer, but between Filer at right tackle, possibly, probably not, or Trey Pipkins at right tackle, which I think is more likely. I would rather have, between those two, I'd rather have Pipkins, but I think just one more signing of just an average, a career, very, very average right tackle for a cheap 1-year deal, this roster would be absolutely loaded. Let's hop over to the, oh, you guys can't see here. Can I zoom in and go over? Yes, I can. And honestly, we kind of only need to see. Wow, sorry this is taking so long. There we go. So, this roster is looking scary. I am still not a fan of the Isaiah Spiller pick. Huge fan of the Jamari Salyer pick, Zion Johnson, but at receiver, we have Keenan, Mike, Jalen. Those are probably our starting 3 guys. They all have complementary skill sets. I really hope Jalen Guyton can just add a little bit to his game, just become a little bit more of an all-around receiver. I'm not expecting him to just step in next year and be an all-around receiver, but just take a step towards that. And then Keenan and Mike just doing what they're doing. Josh Palmer, I love as a wide receiver 4, just because he can, in my mind, he can't really come in and take Jalen Guyton's role, but he could be, he could run those routes, and he has great ball skills. So, like, throwing it down the field to Josh Palmer, I think he's still good at separating, and he could definitely fill Mike or Keenan's role, fill their role, not their shoes entirely. So he's not going to be as good as Keenan or Mike if he has to step up into that role. But I love Josh Palmer as an all-around receiver. I hope we keep him around for a very long time. I loved him coming out of Tennessee last year. And then DeAndre Carter, who was honestly another great signing. Very, very versatile, as well as actually having receiving skills, and can run routes and can be more than just a little gimmicky guy. I would have liked to add one more guy like a Calvin Austin to this wide receiving core, but it's one of the best in the NFL. It's in the probably top 10, for sure top half of the NFL. And then offensive line, Rashawn Slater, Matt Filer, Corey Linsley, Zion Johnson. And then our depth at interior offensive line, Matt Filer, Corey Linsley, Zion Johnson, Brendan Hymus, Jamari Salyer, and who am I forgetting? I think that's kind of it. We did also sign Will Clapp, who has interior offensive line versatility. He hasn't played that much. He came over from the Saints. But having two very, very, very solid, very capable backups in Hymus and Salyer, I love. And then at tackle, in my mind, it's Trey Pipkins at right tackle with Storm Norton as the backup, and then Matt Filer sort of as the emergency backup. Tight end, love our group. Gerald Everett, Donald Parham, Trey McKitty, very complimentary. I might need to sneeze. Oh boy. It went away since I talked about it. Quarterback, Justin Herbert, obviously. Running back, Austin Eckler, Isaiah Spiller, and then probably, in my eyes, Larry Roundtree or an undrafted free agent. Running back room, I do like. Not a fan of the Spiller pick. I like him as a player. I just don't love the value. I hope that he turns out to be a great addition. I hope that since he is so young, he has a decent amount of tread on his tires for his age. But since he is still young, so young, I hope that he can continue to develop physically because he's not the greatest athlete in the world. He's not very explosive. But he does have the sort of innate elusiveness that you're looking for from a running back. Xander Horvath will probably kick Gabe Neighbors out of this roster. And our defense, we have just loaded up this year compared to last year. So interior D-line, we're going to be seeing a lot of different rotations kind of throughout the year, a lot of different packages. But Sebastian Joseph Day, Austin Johnson, Jerry Tillery, those are relatively solidified as the top three guys. Jerry Tillery, we did not pick up his fifth-year option, if you guys haven't heard that yet, which I'm very glad. There is no reason for us to pick up his fifth-year option. He would have been getting paid around 10, possibly a little bit more, million dollars in that fifth year, and he does not deserve that. He has not done nearly anything, so hopefully he can actually put in some work this offseason, improve his game, improve his run defense significantly, and he can come back and be the player that we drafted or the player that we hoped he would be when we did draft him, and then we could discuss a little extension, a little I don't know, just bring him back to the Chargers if he does take that next step. But very solid top three. And then depth of Tito Agbanya, Braden Fajoko, Christian Covington. And then I didn't see that much from Andrew Brown, but Forrest Merrill and Joe Gaziano got a decent amount of playing time last year, just with lack of depth kind of at the D-line position. But interior D-line, in my mind, problem solved. We got a guy who's a little bit younger, and Tito. Braden Fajoko is still pretty young as well. Honestly, Sebastian Joseph Day is pretty young too. He's like 26 or something. But we got a lot better at interior D-line. And then edge. Boy, oh boy. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, probably Kyle Van Noy as edge 3, and then Chris Rumpf, Amike Egbule, and then some undrafted guys. But edge, Kyle Van Noy signing is going to be huge. That is the purpose of this video, basically. But just Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack both have a little bit of an injury history. And you don't even want guys of Khalil Mack's age playing every single snap, every single game anyway. So it's just so huge that we can give either Bosa or Mack or both of them a breather and still have somebody capable step into that role at edge. A linebacker, we have Drew Tranquil, Kenneth Murray. I don't know who LB3 is going to be probably Eamon. That would be my guess. Apparently, the coaches are pretty high on him. And then possibly Troy Reader. Kyle Van Noy can also sort of go in with this group. Nick Neiman, Cole Christensen. And then the huge, actually, is he even on here yet? Yes, he is, Bryce Callahan. So, cornerbacks, J.C. Jackson, Asante Samuel, Michael Davis. Safety, Nas, and Derwin. And honestly, JT Woods might start as well. This defense is looking, I'm not going to cuss because I'm not even monetized, so it doesn't really even matter. But this defense looks incredible on paper. And I have faith that the combination of Derwin and Coach Staley can put this defense together, make it click, because there are a lot of unique different parts. There's a lot of additions this offseason with Mac, with JC Jackson, two huge guys, and then Sebastian Joseph Day, Austin Johnson, the rookies, Tito, JT Woods, Dean Leonard was who I was forgetting about, Jasir Taylor, and then the new guy, Bryce Callahan, as well. I mean, we have a lot of new guys this year, which is a good thing, but we've just added a lot of depth at every single position. It's really just right tackle. If we sign a right tackle, this roster is going to make a run deep into the playoffs, possibly win a Super Bowl. I think if we sign a right tackle, we're going to win a Super Bowl. All we need to do is stay remotely healthy. Even throughout the regular season, we can afford to lose a couple of guys because, like, worst case scenario, let's say we lose Joey Bosa for a couple games. That's horrible. We do not want to do that. But having Kyle Van Noy step in and still having Khalil Mack, most teams would kill for Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa, and we have both of them. If one goes down, Kyle Van Noy steps in. It's not great. Our defense won't be as good, but we can still hold the rope. I mean, this. Let me know what you guys think of this roster down in the comments below, because it's starting to look like something special in my mind. It's starting to look a little bit more like a Super Bowl roster. This year and next year are so this is about to be Herbert's third year, which I want to say technically means that we have two years of really cheap play, and then that third year, his fifth year option, I don't know if he makes any of the extension money then, because we're going to give him a monster deal. But this is a very, very good core to build around and build into the era of Justin Herbert making a lot of money. But just focusing on this year, this roster looks insane. We just need to stay. We just can't have a Ravens year where everybody gets hurt. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Staley lets his guys rest a lot, and we're pretty healthy last year. Chargers fans, we might be going to the Super Bowl. Let me know what you guys think of the roster in the comments below. Hopefully, I'm going to be getting some film of the rookies soon. The Patreon guy that I follow hasn't posted most of them yet, but I will get those uploaded and reviewed when I can. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video.